Hello there, people of the internet. Jesus Christ, have you guys noticed how expensive surplus is getting nowadays? Like, I know surplus rifles have been climbing in price, but surplus ammunition is just, my God. Like, surplus ammunition has gotten to the point to where the surplus ammunition that you're buying is just slightly less expensive than buying modern production ammunition. Now, there are some times on the market where surplus ammunition, like, we'll get a whole lot of surplus ammo in, and this is a good example of that. I'm out here running 8mm Mauser ammunition, and right now we got a lot of Turkish surplus that has come onto the market. I guess this clip only has 4 rounds on it, but we got a lot of Turkish surplus that has come onto the market. And this is definitely the cheapest stuff that you can get your hands on. Now, this stuff, it runs hot. You don't want to run it in semi-automatic, so you're kind of limited to bolt actions. But this is the cheapest stuff that you can get on the market. That said, this stuff is still not free. So if you want to support my work, then links to Utreon and Patreon are in the description below. That would definitely help me make content. But I've been making some 8mm Mauser content pretty regularly lately, and the reason why I do that is because this stuff is corrosive, and I figure if I'm going to come out and shoot it out of a rifle like this and then have to clean the rifle afterwards, I may as well make several videos on the rifle. But of course I have a bunch of backlog videos, and I'll go through and I'll like mix them in with that, so you're not getting strictly 8mm Mauser content all at once. But with me making this 8mm Mauser content, I get a lot of people in the description below, and they'll say that they ran this stuff fine, or, you know, they ran it through their Car 98 and it cracked the stock, or, you know, XYZ with this ammunition. But the one factor that is consistent is the fact that they were saying, you know, I bought it for like 3 cents a shot way back in the day, or I bought it for, you know, 1 cent a shot, or I paid $5 for an entire crate of like 700 rounds of ammunition back in the day. And just these people paying these very, very small amounts of money for this incredibly large amount of ammo. And I'm over here scratching my head, and I'm looking at the prices that these people are paying, and I'm like, wow, I literally pay like 3 times the amount per shot for 22 long rifle than you paid for 8mm Mauser back in the day. And I wanted to go ahead and make a video about that, just talking about how much it sucks. Like, this surplus stuff is way, way more expensive than it should be, especially since we have surplus flooding the market right now. But these people that are bringing in the surplus, they just know the prices that people are willing to pay for it. So they, you know, sent those prices way up higher than they used to be. Now, granted, 8mm surplus is not nearly as prevalent as it is nowadays, or as it was yesterday. Well, not yesterday, but like in the past. 8mm Mauser surplus isn't as common. That's what I'm trying to say here. And that might have something to do with it, but I mean, we still have a lot of 8mm Mauser surplus coming onto the market. We got Turkish stuff, and we got Czech stuff, Yugoslavian stuff, Greek stuff, we got remanufactured German stuff, we got non-remanufactured German stuff coming into the market. We got a lot of 8mm Mauser surplus on the market right now. They're still charging like 35-40 cents a round. You add shipping and handling and taxes and whatnot onto that, and you start looking at 50-60 cents a round. Like, that's if you're buying in bulk. If you end up buying, you know, just 20, 30, 40, 50 rounds at a time because you can't afford to buy in bulk, then you're paying, you know, 70, 80 cents a round. And my God, at that point, I may as well pay 90 cents to $1 a round for new manufactured, proper brass, you know, PPU ammo or something like that. But this right here is also partial stripper clip, apparently. This right here is 198 grain Yugoslavian surplus that I have on this clip right here, which I thought was full. Do I have extra rounds in my pocket? No? Okay. But this stuff right here, I hear people telling me all the time how they pick up literally exactly this for like next to nothing way back in the day. And it is astonishing at how much surplus ammo has absolutely surged in prices. Don't even get me started on surplus rifles and whatnot, or surplus equipment, like used, worn out stuff, or rifles that are 80, 100 plus years old, that are, you know, shot to hell and worn out. I mean, hell, this is a German Car 98, World War II, and because it's a German Car 98 from World War II, this particular one, 1944, this is an expensive-ass rifle. But even, like, non-desirable or less desirable Mausers, this is a a Turkish Mauser. This is a 1933 production, so not even a World War II production. Something like this right here, I mean, I've seen these go for like $400+. Now, granted, the quality that you're getting for the rifle, based off of how much you paid, is actually really, really good. But this right here is surplus stuff that's being sold on the civilian market. And it is being, like, people are charging way, way, way more, not only than they're worth, being a surplus firearm, but more than they should be, especially in comparison to the desirability of the rifle and the prices that they used to be at. Now, if it's something like this German Kar 98, I get it, it's German, it's World War II, everybody loves German stuff. But with this right here raising in price, basically all of the other 8mm Mauser rifles have also raised in price because, well, because of this right here. Whenever somebody takes a look at this and they see the price point and they're like, God, freaking $1,200 for that rifle, that's insane. But then they see this right here, originally like $150. They see this right here for like $400. They're like, oh, that's a lot less expensive. I guess I'll go ahead and pay money for that instead. So we see a lot of prices jumping up for something like this because the price of something like this jumped up. And we see a lot of 8mm Mauser surplus on the market that has dramatically jumped up in price because people enjoy 8mm Mauser nowadays. There was a good point in time where 8mm Mauser ammunition and 8mm Mauser rifles were not as desirable as, say, something in 30-06 or 308, depending on the time period. And as a result, 8mm surplus was always cheaper than 30-06 surplus. I guess right now, even on this market that we're talking about right now, that is still the case. This 8mm Mauser surplus, like the Turkish and Yugoslavian stuff, still tends to be cheaper than the 30-06 surplus that we see on the market, but there's a lot more of this on the market. Well, speaking of 8mm Mauser surplus, I'm out here with my Kar 98 and I've already shot this stuff through it, so I got to clean the rifle anyway. May as well run a few more rounds through this, even though it's not even a full clip. This is Turkish ammunition, 154 grain projectiles, traveling at about 3,000 feet per second, according to the chronograph information that I got from 8mm Mauser Man, a great YouTube channel. Go check him out if you don't know who he is. Ow! This is actually my first time shooting this rifle today. I shot it yesterday, didn't clean it, so figure I may as well come out here and shoot it again. But first time shooting this rifle today, and I'm remembering how hard that Turkish stuff kicks. I'm gonna see if I can stand that steel back up. Let me hit the corner of it. I stood it back up. I don't know how well it's popping up on camera. But what'll happen is that steel is currently sitting in a divot. It's sitting on concrete, and I've just shot it so much that it's made a divot, so it sits in that divot and wobbles around. So I shoot the steel, and it falls down like this, and then I'll shoot it again, and it'll stand back up. And then I'm having an appropriate target to shoot at. And then I'll shoot the corner and knock it back down. Alright, well, this Turkish stuff fires well. This Kar 98 already has a couple of cracks and whatnot in the stock. I've heard stories of this ammunition cracking stocks, like old stocks on Kar 98s and whatnot, but this already has a bunch of cracks in it. You know, I have this Yugoslavian surplus here as well. May as well run some through this Turkish Mauser since I have it out here as well. There's just a couple of rounds of this stuff. And apparently the stripper clip on this has seen better days. There we go. Alright, now the Turkish Mausers, this is a 93 pattern cock on close action as opposed to the Mauser's cock on open action. This right here would be an incredibly fast rifle to run, much like the Enfield series, if you had somebody with the skill to run it, upon which I am not. But I can still hit my target. Yeah, I guess I could run this alright. Man, these 198 grain projectiles smacking into that steel are absolutely devastating to it. Of course, the 154 grain projectiles from that Turkish stuff, not exactly slouches either. The one thing that I'm going to save that for another video. That's actually a really good idea. I like that idea. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm willing to bet, like, I'd bet money on the fact that most of you guys would agree with me with what I'm talking about right now. Surplus stuff, way too expensive. Like, way more expensive than it should be. Yeah. Anyway, folks, I appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share, description below, link to all sorts of stuff. Go and go check that out. That being said, you guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you all on the next episode. I know exactly the video I'm going to make next, but I need some other rifles to do it, so I'm going to go back to my treasure chest of firearms and grab myself some other stuff. I'll see y'all on the next episode, the next video. Are these episodes or videos? Whatever. Yeah, y'all know what I mean. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.